This is the Red Over Derby reaction show. An unfortunate and very disappointing 3-0 loss away at Derby. We'll talk about that game and then we'll also be previewing Horsham in the FA Cup first round replay as well. So, I will go to you because you seem fired up this morning, given that you were there yesterday, part of the 2,500 who made their way down to Pride Park.
Go on, Al.
3-0, 3 poor goals to concede on the whole. What did you make of it?
Poor. That's all I'll say. 2,500 fans let down yet again. It wasn't a nice way to go down to us first defeat away. And that's 3 goals we've conceded to 4 teams now at top, aren't we? Oxford, Peterborough, Portsmouth, and now Derby. It's not good enough. It really isn't good enough. I thought for the first 25, 30 minutes, it were even. I thought we started off on front foot and then penalty. People are saying, was it one? Wasn't it one? From where we were sat, we could see 2 hands push him. It was cheap. It went down easily, Collins. But it is what it is, isn't it? That's 2 penalties in 2 games again. It seems to be every time Barnsley plays, there's going to be a penalty in game. And then thought, going for half-time, 1-0 down, regroup, let's come out, let's change it. Which he changed it because Waters had another mayor, fetched McAtee on. And we thought, we're going for it. We're going to try and get back into the game. No, 2 minutes into the second half. What happened? Free kick, Wildsmith, long ball into the box. Poor defending. Second ball there, picked up straight away and straight it back at net, 2-0 down. Now, you're fighting to get back into the game then. And we couldn't really get back into the game. And then an offside decision, yet again, Wildsmith comes. Deja vu, innit? Same goal, same move, same, they didn't score from open play, all free kicks. Penalty come, I think, from a free kick as well when they picked up second ball. So poor defending, and it could really been double that if they'd have took the chances. It crossbar, poor header, 1-on-1 with our keeper. To be honest, I don't think he had his best game. He don't dominate area, and there were too many yesterday. Had an off day, and it's just not good enough. And our fans deserve better. Supporting them up and down country and following them and getting behind them, but not seeing the performance on pitch. Poor.
I mean, you do say that, Albert. It's the first game we have lost away from home this season, so it's not been a terrible away showing so far.
I'm not saying it is, but to go down 3-0 at Derby, we went there last time in cup and lost by the same result, 3-0. You want to go there and put a performance on. We've got best away form in league, haven't we? And yesterday, they didn't turn up. They did not turn up. And you've got to turn up. Even if you lose 3-0, at least put in a performance. And there were too many players on that pitch yesterday who had off days.
Agreed. Andy, we'll go through the goals in a little bit more detail. Obviously, the first one looked soft in real time, seeing that O'Keefe pushing James Collins, but obviously it does push him whilst he's in midair, so he's not really got too much. Because when I first saw that, I thought that's a foul on Jordan Williams because he's just clattered him back, and then when you watch it back, it does. O'Keefe does push him again. Another penalty given away by O'Keefe, which I think Blackpool was one, and I think has he given away another as well this season?
He's given 3 away.
Yeah, to put us on to 3. So not a great record to have.
Didn't he get away against Horsham? But I'm misremembering it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not grand. It were as soft as they come. But you know, if you touch James Collins, he's going to go down like there's a sniper, isn't it? And a big strong lad. But down he goes. He bought that. I'm not saying that they weren't. He didn't touch him because he did. But my goodness, did he go down well? And he bought it. And I don't like to see that. I like to see honest football, not stuff like that. I don't like to see stuff like that. I mean, there were a few good bits from us. Phillips's free kick, goalkeeper pushed it round the post. That were a good free kick. I thought Nicky Cadden's corners were pretty good. I thought they looked good. And early on in the second half, when McAtee came on, he were put through and tried to flick it into other side. If you're going to do that, you need to curl it. Says me. It's easy for me to curl it into corner from where I was sat. But yeah, it went the opposite way. It didn't curl at all. It's supposed to curl it, but it did, and that made a big difference. The penalty changed it because I thought it was soft as anything. But leading up to they were the good bits. That's it, the good bits. I'm going to mention the referee once. I did think he'd get a soft penalty. I thought he let a lot of industrial tackles go, which disappointed me. It's not why we lost. I don't want you to think that it's why we lost. But leading up to Adam Phillips's free kick, let's call it a tackle on McCart at the edge of the box by Cashim. Cashim, my goodness, if that's not a sending off, I have not seen any. That was insane. McCart goes to head the ball. He comes out and he just wipes him out completely. Absolutely wipes him out. Not even gets a free kick, so it's clearly not even a booking. It's an absolute red card, and I thought that from the referee was an absolute disgrace. Absolute disgrace. It's not why we lost. We lost because we can't. Alan says it's like watching. It's like watching the same thing keep happening. A free kick from inside the box, wide on the right from the goalkeeper, from Wildsmith, lugs it over to our right side of defence. Just watch them, just trot back, watching them surge forward to edit it. It's absolutely awful down that right side. And then the third goal, exactly the same. I do think they were a touch offside with the last goal, but that's just papering over cracks and hoping. Exactly the same thing. The additional thing was it hits the bar, and we're all stood there. Oh, I don't know if he saved it. It hits the bar. I think he saved it. It hit the bar, and it's straight up in the air. And it's like, oh look, I wonder what's going to happen next. And they're all stood watching while it comes down for Collins to chest it in on the goal line. Nobody's dying to get there. Anything like that. Just watching. Things have got to change. Things have got to change because we are frighteningly weak defensively down the right-hand side. Absolutely frighteningly weak. We saw it against Horsham and we saw it again yesterday. It's clearly not good enough. They dominated us and we're awful down the flanks. They had someone, and we rarely get a crossing from the flanks. They had a go at us down our left-hand side, their right-hand side. But down our right-hand side, the back, that's just woeful defending. And it's not like they've watched it. It's free kicks from inside their own area from the goalkeeper. And we can't set up to stop them running past us and heading it. We can't even do that from their own half. Not good enough. Really not good enough defending. Things have got to change there for me. And they've got to change straight away because we're going to keep conceding goals from that position. It's getting ridiculous. And you know what they said, Josh? Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Not going to happen. Keeps happening. Got to change it.
I agree, but I think, especially on that second goal for me, Craig, there is a touch of fortune in it, in the way in which it does deflect off, I think it's De Givenet, and then go sort of perfectly into the path of Craig Forsyth. And obviously, in that situation, if there is a player running on, attacker's always going to be in front of the defender in terms of they're going to gamble on it coming through, whereas you don't necessarily gamble on it coming back as a defender necessarily. But it has been a running theme this season of we've not got that aerial dominating centre half that we have had in previous seasons in Mads Anderson, who were touching 6'4", 6'5", won every day. We had Bobby Thomas last season, again, won every single header possible. And Kitchen as well were an aerial threat. It is something that is a bit of an issue. And I always feel like it's been a concurrent theme for us throughout the years as well. There was only really last season that we had necessarily a aerial threat defensively. Well, not a threat necessarily, but strong players at the back who could go and win the headers. How would we rectify it? Because let's be honest, all three of them goals yesterday were very easy to avoid by just winning the first ball in the first instance.
Yeah, it's aerially we are absolutely rubbish. I've never known a team play three at back be so dominated in the air. We're meant to be strong at the back. That's why we play this formation. We should be able to win those headers. We should be able to win headers in opposition areas, score from corners. You think of any good three back side, you look at likes of Inter, who play three at the back when Chelsea did it. Even when Tottenham did it, the aerial dominance in their own box, especially, were a key to having a five at the back formation. And we're just not. I said it when we did the start of the season that we ain't got a brute. We need a big brute who's just there to head the ball away, because we don't have one. And I think that's coming to the fore now. I think De Givene is a good defender, but I think he's just papering over cracks. This squad's not good enough. This defensive as a whole is not good enough. The second and third goal today were absolute carbon copies, and we learnt nothing from the first time that it happened. It was a flick on and the run onto it. The only difference is the keeper saves the Forsyth shot this time, but still no desire to get back on that line and defend that goal. Everybody stood there and just watched. Same as with the first Forsyth goal, which was the second goal. The flick on come in, and they have two players that could have scored there, and they had to run past Barnsley players to get there. Johnny Russell turned around, started running, then stopped for no apparent reason whatsoever. The goalkeeper was too slow off his line to close down to close down Forsyth to make his angle a lot smaller. So it was just a shambles from start to front yesterday, and I think this is good. This is a running theme. I saw a few people saying yesterday, "Well, we played this way under Duff," but with Duff, we competed every game. We competed, win, lose or draw. We were in every single game. All I keep seeing from this squad and this team is you put us up against the top 6 team in this division and we get slaughtered. And we have done. You look at Portsmouth game. Are you telling us we're on par with them? Yeah, we come into game in the second half, but it's easy to come back. But not letting them get ahead of steam, that's what's difficult. And our football this season is unattractive, unambitious, boring, predictable. We were good. We were getting results, but we were getting them because a player's overperforming and not necessarily earning every single win. Now they've stopped us going down wings. Where's our attack? Yesterday, all I could see was McCart, De Givene, just lumping the ball forward and hoping for the best. They've run out of ideas.
And there's no creativity, Craig.
That's it.
Midfield.
We're playing with 3 central
whatsoever.
We've got 3 central midfielders, and we're completely bypassing them and kicking it straight forward. It's like, can we not build up play anymore? Have we forgot how to pass? It was just a complete shambles, and Derby deserved the win, and it should have been 5 or 6 for me because we had 1 shot on target out of 9, and that was the free kick. The only shot that were uncontested. So we're woeful in attack, we're woeful in defence, and we can't pass the ball. So what you say?
Looking good, Fred. Looking good.
It's absolutely. I tell you now, January, some fingers need to get pulled out because you can't. I understand people wanting Collins out. I completely understand that. The football is dreadful, but then again, you can only field a team of players you've got, and if they're not good enough, then
we get out muscle too easy, Craig. We get out muscle. There's no muscle in our squad.
Exactly, yeah. That's it. But that's what you get with buying a bunch of kids. Do you know what I mean?
That. And League One is a hard division. It's a tough division, and we're being caught out. They know our weaknesses.
Say it's not just that, but it's odd little niggles and pushes, and just you watch a team like Derby play, you can see the intelligence that they have. just by, because they'll do the odd little shove, the odd little push, just nudging us players around all the time, and that sets us up for defeat in a way, you know. So I don't know. It's tough and it's hard to watch, and I don't look forward to any Barnsley fixture anymore. I can
It
honestly
was sad
say.
to see Benson again. Won it 3 minutes. Same last season at Peterborough. Come on as sub and gets another injury.
Yeah, it's not looking good, and all I can see is a downward spiral now because we've got Carlisle next in league, but then after that
It's
it's
not anymore.
Wickham's,
It's been postponed,
Reading's,
hasn't it?
Called off for,
yeah, I know, but it's,
with 4 on international duty.
I'll
Jallo, Cole.
make a prediction. I reckon we'll be lower than 10th come Christmas.
Free fall.
Yeah, I can see it coming because his players don't look like they care. Honestly, after that second goal went in yesterday, all I could see were head dropped. All you got were Williams throwing his arms up and down, throwing his arms everywhere. You know, looked like a petulant child who'd just been caught doing something wrong. And there's no leadership on that pitch neither, and I can't see a way out of this.
I think there's a few things I want to pull out there of both in attack and defence, but we are joint high scorers in the league with 31. Which, I mean, you could chalk a few down to luck, but we're not that far. Like, yeah, it's not great to watch. And also, we are, barring Portsmouth, who've conceded 12, there's Oxford, Bolton, Peterborough, Stevenage, all sides near us that have conceded 16, 17 or 18, same as us, which I know what you mean, Craig, in terms of it doesn't look great. And I think it's a lot to do with the style. Because I think if we're in this position, playing high intensity, pressing, getting the ball forward, and playing more to what we understand under Stendhal, under Val, under Duff, we had that style. It's completely different. And we'll be like, yeah, we're competing every single game, we're looking good. But I think it's because it's slow and laborious.
It looked like we actually were trying in them games though, because the players were running and they're not doing it now. And I think that is just making us look worse.
I think it's more the eye test element of it that makes it feel a lot worse than what it is. But we'll see. To be fair, that allows me to perfectly segue onto it. Obviously, with that result yesterday, we are sat 6th in the league with a game in hand over Stevenage. We're sat 5th. I know, Al, you said it's a tough league to get out of, but you're looking at Stevenage, they're coming from League 2 this season and are flying in 5th. And then you've got more or less the usual suspects of teams in this league of Portsmouth, Bolton, Peterborough, Derby, Blackpool, who came down last season, are up there as well. It's not a difficult league compared to last season, which almost got split into 2 leagues of us, Wednesday, Plymouth, and what have I seen that one? Ipswich.
That was third in Championship, by the way.
Yeah, we're basically end up in League 1 1.5 of us 4. Yesterday, with yesterday's results off the back of Horsham as well, and as you've already mentioned, struggling into top 6 sides. Social media is going rife with Collins out. Where do you stand on it? Because for me, I appreciate what people are saying. Because as Craig alluded to already and mentioned, it's slow, laborious, this style of play, and it's not a great thing. It's not an entertaining style of football to play, and it comes in varying results. But we are dealing with a brand new back 5, more or less, with, if you count Johnny Williams playing in a different position as well. Keepers swaps and changed so far this season due to injury. Luke O'Connell's been out, which is probably the main miss. Do you think if we finish and get to January in and around the playoffs and then regroup and recruit, do you think Neil Collins sort of deserves this season to allow him to stamp his side? Because when you think Michael Duff did come in, and obviously it took him some time to adjust, I think probably October when we really started picking up results consistently. Do you think he deserves the January window to try and stamp his authority on the side? Because again, think of the pre-season he had. Everything got pushed back. The Duff saga drew on for so long. He got no pre-season. We gave him the first 5 games of the actual season as pre-season. It's not been an easy way to start your tenure at Barnsley.
It's not, and it's the cards he's been dealt with. I appreciate that. But he's a coach, he's a gaffer, he's got to make it gel with what he's got to work with what he's got. And it's not really working on pitches at the moment. I'm a believer that, yeah, it's too early to get shut, but they've got to get the January window right to bolster the squad. If we can get the January window right and bolster the squad, let's see what he can do. We're getting more players in key positions. It's the key positions what's letting us down. We haven't got a good spine. We need Roberts back first, and that's been a big part of the equation since Killip's come in. I'm not calling Killip; he's a keeper, but we were having lots of shots at goal, but we were saving him, wasn't we? We could, a lot of games we could have been out of it, but it were Roberts who saved us. So give him a chance in January, but he's got to pull his finger out for me.
Andy, where do you sit in it? Because it seems like it's been somewhat divisive, especially looking on social media, of sort of people understanding the situation which he came into and also the lack of stability in that side necessarily. But I do get the side of people saying, well, where's the effort, where's the trying, which I think was the most prominent issue yesterday against Derby.
Dear me. Stop doing the same thing and expecting it to be different, because it's not going to be. I am sick. Well, I'm not sick of coming on this programme, but I'm sick of this coming on this programme and saying we're pappy down the right-hand side. I appreciate what you're saying about. I appreciate what Craig's saying about needing somebody brussing at the back. I think we've got some players that could be brussing at the back. We've got Jack Shepherd, who's a tall lad. He can win ball in air. How he were dropped, I don't know, because he should be there. No, I'm not saying he's going to be perfect, but he should be there because he's a decent player and he's strong and good in the air. We've also got. We seem to forget we've got Conor McCarthy. He's getting time. How much game time does he need at under 21s to get himself ready for the first team? Is he good enough? It always looks it to me. One thing's for sure. We keep picking either Cotter or O'Keefe at right wing back, and neither of them are working right defensively. It's not working out defensively. I keep saying it, and I will keep saying it. Jordan Williams is a decent player. I think he's a decent player. I really do like him. But for me, he's a right wing back. I know a lot of people think, it's his best position at centre back because he's quick in defence. But he's a right wing back. He used to get crosses across, whereas we're rarely doing it, or not doing it anywhere near enough. So for me, he should be there because we wasted him back there. And why we've got centre halves watching, why our right wing back plays at centre back. If that's going to continue, we're going to keep losing. If we're not going to change it, we're going to keep getting soft goals away. And Tuesday's perfect chance to try something else. For me, it would definitely be Jack Shepherd playing, because I think he's a good player. He should be playing. I don't know if we should change it as well with McCarthy playing. I don't know, but Jack Shepherd should be there for me, and get Jordan Williams at right wing back, where he can attack at speed and put them under some pressure. I've no idea. I don't know if Cosgrover's still injured. I'm assuming he's still injured. I hope. Well, I hope he's still injured. I hope that's the reason why he's not getting in the squad, because he's big and brussing up front, and he needs to, because we're not looking strong up front. Alan has said, Max did not have a particular. He run about a lot, but didn't have a particularly good game yesterday, and it's not the first time. Sometimes he puts a lot of effort in at times. McAtee, I don't think he's a goal scorer, but he's a decent player. But we need to change and try something different. And for me, defensively, we need to try something different, because, and I've explained what I think, because it's going to keep happening. How on earth you can have two goals that's identical from a goalkeeper taking a free kick wide on the right inside his own penalty area, and we can't defend it for toffee? That if that doesn't change, it's going to keep happening. If I were Horsham manager, hopefully we're going to talk to him in a little bit. I'd say keep smacking it down there, right? Keep smacking it down there because they're not going to be able to defend it. You know, Jordan's not tall enough as a centre half in that position. We're not tracking back. So get players, and we've got them. I appreciate about January, and we need to strengthen. We've got the money and to strengthen it, but we could change it now to be a lot more brusque.
Where do you stand on Collins then, Andy?
On Collins, I think after this number of matches, it's too early to be saying change it. But I absolutely agree with what Craig's saying. It's boring. It's boring. There's very little gets you up off your seat. I mean, one of the people that do get you off of the seat is Cotter. He gets me off the seat shouting at him for letting it dribble out of play again. And he gets me off his seat when he goes flying down the wing. And then I sit down because I think, why you stood up? He's going to hit the first man. It's going to get blocked. So I sit back down and that's what happens. So
he makes somebody yesterday and he couldn't get around him.
I can't get with this crab football. It's boring. And truthfully, I think he's got to. I think Neil Collins has got to do more than he's doing in the style of play because you can't keep doing the same thing. If he is going to do the same thing, and we'll see, we'll see over the next coming matches. If it's the same thing and the same thing and the same thing, then it's not working out. The board said we've got a particular style of play, and we're going to appoint people to that style of play, which is a high press, get in the face, close them down, make them make mistakes. We haven't done that. I thought that's what we were going to get under Neil Collins. And so far, apart from Cambridge away, where it worked wonderfully, we haven't done that. And we've rolled over and been tippy-tappy, crab football. And, when we attack, it's like, can we pass it back? Is anybody to pass it back to? We don't go at them. We just don't go at them enough. If it's not going to change, then the board are going to have to change him. I don't want him to. I just want him to change to the style of play that we expected from him. And I'm not going to blame that it's the players that he's got at his disposal, because I think he's got some, it's not a great hand. I will appreciate that. But we've got players that he could do something with. He's a centre half. He used to be a centre half. If he can't get the defence right, then I don't know what's going on. So, no, not at this stage. If this doesn't change, I can't see that there's going to be any option. It's going to start all over again that we had under Shop and Ashbaggy. I don't want to go through all that again. Not yet.
This is an interesting one. Obviously, Craig, as Andy's alluded to already, there's McCarthy, Robbie Cundy, Lepata, MDG, Jack Shepherd, Jordan Williams. The list of players who can play centre half is what we've got 7 or 8 of them, and it just seems that we can't find that formula. Which you think within that pool of players, you could find a back three that could be the foundation to build upon, especially in this first half of the season. But it just feels like we can't find it, because to me that's the main issue in which we've got. Because I think if you do put Jordan Williams back to right wing back, it would solve that issue down the right hand side necessarily, and then it allows, I think, other issues to be fixed as well, in a way. And as Andy mentioned already, the time in which we have pressed and gone forward against Cambridge, what did we roll them over 3-4-0? And it looked very, very in control of that game. And there's been glimpses of it so far this season. Second half against Portsmouth, when we went to compete against them. I mean, granted, game had gone by that point, but we brought ourselves back into it. The times in which we have reverted back to the style that we've become accustomed to, we've got results, but we've not. That's the puzzling thing for me, is it's worked, but we've not done it consistently because that's not how we want to play.
Yeah, it's a muddle. It really is. We have got a lot of centre backs, and I said at the beginning of the season, after the transfer window shut, we just need to find 3. The problem is finding 3. I think we've got 3, but one of them's out injured. I think Dejivine, McCart, and Lepata, I think, are as 3. Shepherd's are good off the bench. I wouldn't throw him into this. I wouldn't throw him in starting this, because if he has one bad game, he's going to get a lot of shade thrown his way, and then that's how you destroy young talent, by throwing them into situations that they're not ready for. I think he's young, but I think he needs experience. But Lapata, he wins a fair amount of headers, so I like him if he could stay centrally. Dejuvigny right and McCartan left. I think that's his best back three. But John Williams needs to go right wing back, because we've got options there, but they're just not good enough. They're really not. O'Keefe showed bright spells at the start, but that's gone by the wayside a long time ago. Cotter comes on, like I say, he looks bright, he looks energetic, he runs, but he runs out of ideas in the final third, and yeah, his brain certainly goes faster than his legs at times. So on the old Collins issue, look, he's a defender. He should be able to teach us how to defend. He should be able to teach us how to defend against set pieces. And if yesterday we got done in the air by something that should be his speciality, something that he should be really good at being able to coach a team to defend against, and he's not. The differences between him and Duff is, like I said, we competed against the top six last year, every single game. We're not competing. We're not even close to competing. We're getting run over. We're getting run through, and we're not looking like a team that's a top half contender. We really don't. Against the top six sides, we look like we're relegation fodder. They're walking through us that easily. I mean, I'd give him November, and that's it. We start looking. We look around. Honestly, I'd give him the next 4 or 5 games. If it's still the same slow football that is absolutely completely boring to watch, we're not picking up wins, we're not looking good, because we've won lots of games this season, but how many can you actually remember us actually playing well in? Because there is a difference. You can't win by not being particularly good. And I think we've won way too many games without looking particularly good. So, I think we've scraped a few draws that we shouldn't have got. Or got a last minute winner when we were on the cost, and we've managed to scrape a win from somewhere. I'd give next month, and that's it. A point from
I like you November, Craig, because it's looking good, because we've got Horsham, we've got Bradford City, and then we've got Lincoln. That's it so if you can't sort it out in those 3 games, what chance have we got?
Well, that's it. It's now he needs to step up, because at the minute I can't see him bringing these players back if we have a bad November. I think we'll be done for the season. Then mentally, I think we'll be done. I think players' heads will have dropped too far. I'd rather just prevent that by saying, look, if we don't look good in these next 3 games, then you need to go. We need to fetch somebody in. And the least that will do is make the players feel better, feel reinvigorated. Because at the minute, they just look like they can't be bothered. I don't think they're enjoying training. I don't think they're enjoying the football at the minute. And an unhappy football player don't mean you're going to get any wins. I'm sorry, but you've got to pander to players these days. I think that's quite obvious.
I think the first question that begs, though, necessarily is who replaces him then? Have you got any thoughts? And whatever you say, do not say Neil Warnock, because I've seen far too many people say Neil Warnock, and yeah, Albion's different championship and struggling, bring him in. But he's not going to create a side that takes you up to promotion from League One.
You didn't see him play for Barnsley, did he, Andy?
I'll be honest, I didn't. And I can guarantee that Neil Warnock is not the solution to taking us up this season, because the first things first is continuity-wise. Yeah, he might get us up, but it's going to be someone else then that carries us on for the season after. So I think that's the first question I want to. That's the first answer I want, is if there is someone to replace him, because I think if it does go down that route, it's got to be someone that knows this league, or at least English football from a start, even if it's someone from League Two, and they've got to come in and hit the ground running. And I do think at the same time as well, whilst we expect and got told would go one better. I don't think Neil Collins has been set up to go one better in terms of having that defence ripped out from underneath him, having players sold the day before the transfer the day before the season started, who he clearly valued as part of starting 11. Otherwise, he wouldn't have played him during pre-season. And then also you got Kitchen leaving as well last day on transfer deadline day. Someone who was key and central throughout them first few games this season is not. I don't think there's not been much confidence shown from the board towards him in that way. It's just little things like that of Norwood going the day before the season starts, and then Kitchen, just the unfortunate timing more than anything else. That I think I give him this season. I think I give him the season because I do think, to a degree, our expectations need to come down as well, with the understanding of where he began this season, from the position of no pre-season whatsoever. So he had 0 time to get his ideas across. Still, to this day, he's learning his best 11 due to players coming in and out, being injured constantly. He's not had Luke O'Connor available, which I think is massive, especially if we are going to continue down this tippy-tappy left and right approach. I think he's the one that could spring it forward. And then once he gets either Lapata back to come back into that back three, or McCarthy gets fit and ready for 90 minutes, and it pushes Johnny Williams to right wing back, I think then I would start to really dig into his performances and things like that. But I do think in the meantime there's things he can do to protect, especially that right hand side, as you've mentioned, Andy, multiple times, of how we can. How do we get targeted down that side though? You look at Blackpool, they target it continually until Corey O'Keefe gave away a penalty. You look yesterday, granted the goals came from a massive switch from free kicks, but it did come from that right hand side. It came from players that are playing on that right hand side of not dealing with stuff coherently. And Portsmouth, I think 2 of their goals came from that, if I remember rightly, of quickly breaking out from the back and playing into the right hand side. And there's massive gaps to just flick it around corner.
They all know how to get goals against us.
Yeah, I think that it's something that he can address, and he can do it tactically.
But you're on about, for me, if we do look for somebody, I'm probably thinking not, but for me, Paul Cook, he'd knock him into shape from Chesterfield.
Neil Harris also.
As a gaffer.
Reasonable suggestions for once that aren't Neil Warnock.
Danny Cowley, another one. Was that it?
Stay out to work for me.
Nathan Jones. Just a few. There's options out there, but there is a lot Collins can do, and I think getting a few players back, it might have to speed them through recovery. He might just have to go. Because what we saw yesterday is not what Barnsley is accustomed to seeing.
It's unacceptable, Craig.
Yeah, it is completely. And like you said, 2,500 fans are paid to see that. That is not worth that. For me, they should all get their money back, because that.
Yes, afternoon, a great following.
Yeah, just devoid of any ambition or whatsoever. What that team it was. I mean, I love the guy. I think he's a special player, but Styles even. I can't remember him touching ball, really.
And I don't
as soon as he received it, rather than doing what is a Styles type thing, which is picking up the ball and then running from deep, all he did is kept passing it back. Every time. I mean, it was a first touch pass back as if to go, don't pass me ball. I don't want it. And I see a lot of midfield players doing that. There's only one player that I can remember that picks up and does what we it, really. And that's Herbie Kane, and we didn't have him yesterday, and I think that were evident. I thought Phillips, I think he was the best of a bad bunch yesterday. He was trying to press, he was trying to do things, he was actually running everywhere. But he just had nobody backing him up. So that was a shame.
Well, the time is here and the time is now to sort it and make it right.
And we're getting more cliches to throw out before.
Well, we got perfect opportunity in my view. We got like we said, we got 3 games. They're all away as it happens, but two of the three games are in cup competitions we've got the perfect opportunity to try something different, particularly at the back, particularly at the right. So if we just continue to do the same things, then it becomes a constant shambles. But he's got the chance to change it. And if he doesn't take it, then I don't know where we go with it, because we don't change it when we've got the opportunity, when it's not in the league where points make prizes. If we don't do it if we're not going to do it then we're not going to do it in the league when, as Craig, when it starts getting towards Christmas, and he'll be gone. And I don't want that. I don't want to start personally talking about who could replace him, because I don't think that's necessary. But what I do think is necessary at minute anyway, what I do think is necessary at this minute is to try something different. I understand what Craig's saying about Jack Shepherd, but he should not have been dropped. The number of times we talk about, they just lug it forward. Jack Shepherd, when he were in the side, he were playing it down the left-hand side, and it weren't just lugging it aimlessly. He were playing it down the wings to players. So he should be given his chance, because I tell you, I don't care where he's come from or anything. He's a quality player, and I think he's brussing enough to stand up to it. I've seen him block things. What more do you want than somebody that can head the ball, that can control it, can play it down the wing, can block things, as opposed to just watching? So, he should be there. Should absolutely be there.
I think, Andy and lads, he's got to change it on Tuesday, hasn't he, with international call-ups, because are we losing 4 players to Horsham for international call-ups?
I
assume Styles, Johnny Russell,
Jallo,
yeah.
So would they be available, or have they gone?
I don't know. I assume that they'd be available for that game.
I imagine it'll depend on when they're meeting internationally, because normally do a couple of days training, don't they? So and probably
they could be on Monday.
I'd say no.
Yeah. I think they'll be gone Monday. I think they'll be flying out Monday to wherever they need to be.
Camps.
Yeah. I know Jamaica's playing Canada on the 18th, so that's Colin Russell. Obviously, got to give him time to probably adjust to the fact that they'll be in a completely different time zone as well. Anyway, I'm glad you mentioned Horsham, because we'll move forward and preview this first round FA Cup replay against Horsham. So, Al, you've got your honorary Horsham shirt there.
Honorary Lardy Army lads, aren't we, Andy?
Oh, crikey, yeah. Hold on.
Go on, Andy.
Sorry, Al.
Wow, there we go.
There you go.
At least we've got something to shout about, although they lost 2-0 yesterday.
Yeah, it's hashtag United.
Hashtag United, the internet's favourite team.
Yeah.
So, Andy, obviously, first game against them, entertaining for a neutral. Disappointing from our end, obviously, and somewhat nice for Horsham, because they do get the return fixture, and it's probably going to bridge the gap in revenue in which they got from the fact that the game got moved from Saturday to Friday as well, which I suppose is the underlying silver line, especially for a non-league club like Horsham. It's going to be important for them in their season. But what do we reckon to this one? Because I feel like this is now second leg. You expect the professional team to come out, because I know as soon as we sort of went ahead in that second half in the home tie, you sort of expect fitness fatigue to come and take over a bit for the side that are non-league. But obviously, as Dom said, they will keep running, they will keep trying.
Yeah, just let me say this before we go on to them. Against Derby, 79 predictions. 34 said Barnsley were going to win. Not me and you, Josh. Not me and you. 19 said it would be a draw. 26 said we'd lose. Only 2 people said 3-0. Only 2 people. That was Smokey. Well done, Smokey. And John Connolly. So a Smithy fried chicken dinner for them. Get the takeaway ordered now, lads. So they did well. Yeah, Horsham, same thing went to target our right side, because their penalty came from our right side. One of their goals came from the right, so goals from the side. The final goal came from a breakaway that I'm not sure who played him onside, if indeed he was onside, whether it was the right back or the left back or Uncle Tom Cobley. Somebody obviously played him onside, although I'm not sure the linesman knew. They'll just do the same, won't they? If they've got any sense that they have got decent player down the wings, they'll attack us down the wings, and they'll get something from it by doing that. And they know, they know that. I'm really, obviously I want my team to win. Obviously I want to, I prefer them to have won 10-0. They've still got slagged off if they'd have won 10-0. But that apart, from a neutral's point of view, if you try to look at it like that, I thought it were a good game to watch if you've got no affinity to either side. So I do think that I'm really, really chuffed, apart from I want my team to win, really chuffed that if we were going to draw with anybody and it got to a replay, it was for them because of the debacle of the Friday night business, so that their players can get the families there, that their fans can, as much as they humanly can, because they've sold out, get to the replay, so they get to see, because it weren't even on television. So the ones that can't get tickets to go to the match, whether it's Barnsley fans, Horsham fans, I'll be able to watch it on the telly on Tuesday. So for that, I'm really pleased, and I think we could well become a casualty. Unless we change, we could well become a casualty, because they are not a bad side. Like I said, they keep going. They'll target where to go. Dom knows what he's doing. They absolutely hammered Chichester City in midweek on Wednesday night, 6-0. And then hashtag, I don't know where that came from. The hashtag scored in the first half, and then the Preston pressed, from what I can see, and hashtag scored a goal right at the end. Presumably, I'm just assuming this, I don't know. I'm assuming as they push forward to try and get an equaliser, they broke free and scored a second goal. So it's not quite as bad as it sounds, but let's hope we can build on them losing. We'll ask Dom what he thinks.
Yeah, Al, I think it's one of those games where we've already alluded to. It's a chance to try something new and see if we can sort of build some form of momentum. Because I think if we do lose this, it will start. I think this will be the start of a little downward spiral, and we're not to beat Horsham and get into the second round now. It
is, isn't it? It's going back if we lose to Rill and Marine, isn't it? We don't want to be losing to a non-league side. What is it? 7 places below us in leagues. I just hope that keeper Carey has a mare, because he saved them in first leg, didn't he? If it wasn't for Carey, I mean, that quadruple save when Luke O'Connell had his first shot, he had 2 attempts, and then McAtee put it on outside at net. So we've got to go out. We've got to be up for it. We've got to prove that we can put the defeat on Saturday behind us. It's going to be a tough ask. What I mean is there's still some tickets left as well for Horsham if anybody wants to go. That's what I heard yesterday. But it is a long trek, and credit to fans who are going. But what we're hearing, some fans who got tickets didn't want to go. Understandably so. So, yeah, they lost 2-0, as Andy says, and it looks as though they were going to try and push on and get a point out of it, and didn't get any points. And for us, we've got to stop this disjointment in our squad. We've got to get togetherness. We've got to get unity. If we can get that, I think we can go there and come away and go into second round and face Sutton.
Yeah, I think, Craig, there's a very good opportunity here to get into the third round. When you look at to get into the third round on paper, when you look at the fact we've got Horsham, which you'd expect us to win, and then Sutton, obviously another side in the league below us. So it's not like we're playing a team within our league, which is the one thing I hate about cup competitions, is drawing someone in your own league. We've got a decent chance here to get into the third round when the big boys start coming into it as well.
Yeah, we've got to build some confidence as well, because we need that for league. Horsham are going to be. I mean, it's the best situation to be in that they're currently in, where there's no expectation. That's the best way to play when you feel no pressure. You know, they can go out and they can lose 5-0 and people will say, oh, well, at least they tried. You know, it's all the pressure's on us, and we've got to make sure we don't crumble under that pressure, because at the minute I'm questioning a lot of mentalities that we've got in our squad. Can they handle pressure? And this is going to be a big occasion for them to do it. It's on telly, so everybody's going to see them. You know, this is also going to be a big test for Collins. Can you get these lads ready? Can you get them? Like I say, your football is now going to be on display to the whole of the UK. You know, it's on a big network, and there's going to be a lot of eyes on it. So they're all going to be watching for our downfall as well, because let's just say everybody loves a fairy tale story. So I know if it were other way around and it was somebody up against Peterborough from Isthmian League, I'd be wanting them to beat Peterborough. So you know, I've got no problem with people probably wanting us to lose, but there's going to be a lot more answered questions in this game than I think people will realise. But I agree, it's time to try something new. Try some new players if you need. Let Jello get a run out. He's not going to be there, is he?
Aidan Marsh has come back.
Yeah,
Aidan Marsh is back.
Aidan Marston, yeah. Say we're not used to having so many internationals, you know. So it would have been nice to see Jello out, by the way. But yeah, there's going to be a lot of answer questions, and like I said, I'm giving him November to prove he's got the cojones to continue us through to end the season. So I expect to see a big performance in all 3 games. I want to see us really put teams to the sword that we should be putting to the sword, and that starts with Horsham. Unfortunately for them, we should dominate them. We should have the squad to completely play them off the park and not give them a sniff. I mean, that's what 7 league differences. I mean, if we were playing a Premier League team, I'd expect the same to happen to us. So, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
They didn't
I
need
reckon
to
they'll be in today
dominate.
training. I reckon they'll be in today training. They'll have to be, won't they?
Yeah.
I don't know until midnight, learning how to deal with set pieces.
Yeah. Horsham would have defended better against Derby than we did. They set up really well defensively, blocked everything, won everything. So, you know,
they put bodies online, didn't they, Andy?
Exactly, that's how. They don't need to dominate possession against us. They just need to defend against us and then get it out wide to there, because they've got some very, very quick, tricky players. So all they need to do, just, you know, soak it up, block everything, and then go for it. Keep, you know, then really go for it down the sides, because they've got quick players. So we've got to be really careful, because, you know, so the eyes of the world, it's ITV4. I don't think.
No, I said Ardsley, the UK.
Yeah,
I said the world. I want like world domination.
I'm not.
I just thought, lads, on TV, it's not a horror show.
I don't think there's going to be 10 million watching it or all like that.
No, I said Ardsley, UK.
I know you did. I know you did. I know. So, but it's there. They've got, you know, a local team waiting in the second round. So, you know, if Horsham aren't up for it, and they will be, because they were up for the first one, if they're not up for it in front of their own fans, then there'll be something wrong. So I think we're like you said, Craig. I think we're on a hiding to nothing. No matter what happens, we're on a hiding to nothing. I'm not feeling very confident, and that worries me, that I'm not feeling confident enough to think that we'll win. I don't think we'll put a performance in, to be frank.
See, that's it. Like we said, the Horsham players were throwing the bodies on the line for the manager and everything. I can't say our team will do that. I don't believe that Collins has the support of the players as much as it did at the start of the season. I'm not sure what it is, but they don't seem to be playing for him, and I think that is probably worse than the worst place a manager can be in, when you've got a group of players that aren't playing for you.
Well, Andy and I have got to sort out and get his confidence up, because we're going to speak today, aren't we? To Gaffer Dom and Marky, and so on. Let's get upbeat. Let's frighten them.
I think there's one thing though between us and Horsham, is that Horsham playing us is like us playing Man City, in a way of like, there's gonna, like, this is Horsham's opportunity to match yourselves up against a professional team, and they are going to throw bodies on the line. Whereas our players are saying, we're playing someone 7 tiers below us, we should be able to walk through this game. And them two levels of them upping themselves to there and us not playing to his potential come and met exactly there in a 3-3 draw at home. And I think you'd assume now, for the fact that it would, a team 7 leagues below you, it's embarrassing as a professional player if you don't go on to see it out now. And I think that might be the driving force behind us winning this. But I'm the same as you, Andy. I don't feel sold by the fact that we will. But I do think that there's an opportunity with Carlisle being postponed and the fact we've got 3 games in November left. That's right, isn't it? It's 3 games left in November.
Yeah.
There's no reason to not play a strong side in this, because even if you pick up a knock, it's going to be for Bradford in Papa John's Trophy.
Nobody's deserved to be rested neither. Nobody's deserved to be rested neither.
We've got to get the mindset of players right.
It's a difficult one. Right. Andy, you're not confident. What do you reckon to the game against Horsham? What do you reckon the score will be?
2-1 to Horsham.
Good to see that Horsham shirt's going to be. You're going to wear that proudly on Tuesday after knocking Barnsley out of the cup. Al, what about you?
1-1 penalties.
Good.
Are you going to say a winner though?
That's true. No, just doing 90 minutes, aren't we? I suppose.
Okay.
Reds on penalties.
Good.
We need to dominate them. I don't think we are. But we're still going to win. We're going to scrape a 3-2 win.
I think we're going to win 3-0. I think we're going to win 3-0.
Oh, what? How the hell is Josh the most ambitious among us? What has happened?
In that Mancunian air. Is it different to ours, Josh?
I just think they're a size 7 tiers below us. You've got to think that they're not have a level of prep in which they did
They're at home.
Time. Yeah, they might
on
be.
On a pitch, that's probably like that.
It looks a lovely. Is it? What's it called? Ardsley? I can't remember the name of it. Looks a lovely little setup. Does that what they've got? I actually think we'll win. I think it's the perfect opportunity to go and put Saturday right. You got to think the level of the one thing I would think is recovery from them playing hashtag to us playing Derby. The level of recovery and just the professional setup and nature in which we've got, we should recover faster than them. And I think that's been a massive telling factor is realistically.
I would agree with you, but the only issue I've got with thinking that we're going to walk through this game is the fact is, yes, we're up here and they're down here, but we're playing down here.
That's true, but then there's a lot of players now that have got to go and sort out. There's a potential for players to go and stake claim for that first team, because that first team at the minute, I think there's 11 places up for grabs week in, week out. Maybe 10 with Devante is the only one that I'd start just because of how clinical he's been. Apart from that, there's a lot of positions there up for grabs, and if we do play a rotated side, then there's your opportunity, because we played a strong side last time against Horsham, didn't get through it. So realistically,
like I say, it'll answer a lot of questions. This match answer a lot
is that their will to win will be greater than our will to win, and that
it shouldn't be though.
It shouldn't.
That's true.
I'm just saying.
I think as well. I think a lot of the points you made, Craig, of it's on telly, and for a professional player to lose to someone whose job it is part time to play football is very embarrassing for the professional team and professional players. And I think there'll be a lot of. I think that might be the thing that takes professional pride, because realistically, that game on that Friday sort of went under wraps.
Because we weren't on telly.
We weren't on telly, and then I think Derby went and drew with Crew, which I think took a little bit of the pressure off us as well. Whereas I think
did
now
somebody else draw to an Ishmael League?
So Scarborough have got a replay of Forest Green, to which Michael Coulson plays for Scarborough as well, and is their main striker and captain. Just for those of you who have been it will have been Charlton against Craig Valley.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Looking at this list, I'm trying to look. Oxford and Slough as well is a replay, and the
See
rest.
that? See, that's it. Because I mean, you looked on Twitter after that game, and there were people demanding that the club paid for people to gutter it down to Horsham. I'm like, this is football. This happens. This is why we love the game, because stuff like this can happen. I mean, I don't know. People just think, oh, just because you're so far ahead, you're gonna win, and it's like, no, it's not. You still need to earn the win.
I think that's.
Ah,
I
well.
think a lot of it comes to expectations from last season to this season. And they need to come down. Our expectations of fans need to come down and actually meet where we are, and not what we've been told to expect. Because we're not getting top two. We're not going one better. When you sell all the players we sold in the summer and lost, recuperated in money, and then the disjointed nature of pre-season, you're not going one better. When you look at Portsmouth, we recruited about 10 or 12 players. Kept John Mousinho in and built the foundations at the back end of last season very well. Same with Oxford. Peterborough always are up there. It's just nature of it. I don't think. Well, I don't expect
the way things are. I mean, going into January, if some real money's not spent in January, there's going to be a lot of people out for the board. After what they have recouped in transfer fees, if there's not significant spend, and there's going to be no way to defend that, is there really? If we're lowering ambitions, because the squad's not as good, but yet we've fetched in a record amount of money, but we're not spending any on it, there's going to be questions, and you know,
they'll be rightly to be questioned as
yeah,
well.
exactly. Oh, yeah,
be justified.
I'll be up front queue banging on that door.
Right. I think it's probably been over an hour now. I reckon we've been chatting. So, yeah, make sure to get your predictions in the comments down below. The competition will still run up until it's Wigan, isn't it?
Yeah.
I want to say New Year's Day or whenever the first game of the new year. I can't remember which date actually exactly. Mini comp wise, I assume it's still close, Andy. I can't imagine
it is
for the Dallas defeat as well.
I was going to put it out, but I'll wait till after Horsham so I can cry into my beer or wherever.
And we've got a nice gap as well.
January window, 1st of January. There you go.
It is.
Change. Reds.
There'll be an influx of 2 championship quality centre halves through the door on New Year's Day, and we'll forget all about this first. These couple of dodgy games we've been having.
Bring back Mark Roberts.
We've already got some. It's just not playing them.
Johnny Steele forever.
I don't know what that one is. So on that note, make sure to get your predictions in the comments below. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you later.